mover and a shaker. His name is Trevor. Please welcome him.
What's going on, guys? How we doing? Good. This is interesting. This is actually one of the most sophisticated places I've performed, which is surprising. I don't know. New Haven's like the most educated city you can get stabbed in. You know? Feels like you're gonna get robbed with a lighter when you walk around. I don't know why. I'm originally from Bridgeport, which is a really weird and fucked up town. Like, I'm from Bridgeport when Bridgeport was Bridgeport. Like, not this new shit. Like, last year we only had 15 murders. I just missed something. And I feel like part of it is because some of the kids that I grew up with got locked up. Like, anybody in here know someone doing an extended period of time in prison? Yeah, one person in the, or you. So, when you found out that one of them were going to prison, what was the first thing that you thought?
I'm not surprised.
Too bad. Too bad you're not surprised. I feel like those are normal responses. I feel like my response wasn't normal, because when I found out that my friend Thais was going to do 40 years, first thing I said was fucking good. Look, I looked at the list of charges he had, and it's like, whenever I say I know somebody that's doing 40 years, people say the same thing. They're like, oh my god, what did he do? Nigga, everything. What do you think? No, look at the list of charges he had. It was like murder, attempted murder, robbery, armed robbery, RICO charges, cocaine trafficking, telling a bunch of blind kids to look out. I was like, yo, they listed off more charges than DMX did bitches in the song What These Bitches Want. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there's a lot of bitches in the song What These Bitches Want. They got Donna, Felicia, Inez, Juanita, Kelly, Kim, Katrina. You guys know where I'm going with this. Now, the thing that stuck with me the most, though, had to be the armed robbery charge. Because I've been robbed at gunpoint before, and that shit's scary. Like, I was in this liquor store one night looking at White Claws, which is the most embarrassing part of the story. And while I'm in there, this guy comes in behind me, and he just loads a gun. He tells the cashier, get him behind the counter and don't move. And that goes to the curly-headed nigga in the back, too. I was like, fuck, how do you know my name? No, so I decided to do what any naturally smart person would do. I pull my stuff out of my pockets, throw it into the shelf, and I wait on the ground for everything to be over. The guy with the gun comes around patting people's pockets. He feels that I have nothing, and he decides to call me a broke-ass nigga. Me, the one not robbing a liquor store. Just like I walk up to a homeless guy, put the cigarette in his hands, and he's like, okay, this makes sense. Worst part of the whole thing, too, is that when he said it, I recognized his voice. I was like, Thais? You guys are cool. You guys are cool. This is a really good ending. Now that I know that you guys are good, can I tell you guys about the worst show I ever did? Right. So I was about 3 months into comedy, and somebody offered me to do 20 minutes, which just isn't going to happen. But I was like, you know what, fuck it, I got this. I got this. Turns out I did not got this. 8 minutes in, everything's going great, material's working, it's all smooth. 12 minutes in, goes dead silent. And this one black lady in the back just goes, boo, nigga. Murders! Crushes harder than any joke I told that night. That's the only time I've ever gone home and written material about a town for 3 months after. So I hope West Haven, Connecticut burns to the fucking ground. Wouldn't lose any rocket scientists, just eradicate all the lice in Connecticut. Have you ever wished biblical plagues upon a place? A plague of locusts upon West Haven. Fuck that place. This is good though. I feel like, you know, people have been tense recently because this whole election thing. Like, I feel like every election people get tense though. You know what I mean? Like, dude, oh no, I know. But you know what makes me know that though? It's like the way that people react to elections. When something big happens during an election every year, there's always some big social issue, and the way that people react to it is what lets you know how like the state of the country is. You know, like there was this there was this one girl who was a porn star online. Anybody know who Brandy Love is? No. Fucking liars! Are you kidding me? There's a couple married couples in here. I know some of you guys, fellas, when you're in the shower, when she's in the shower, I know you're in your room, turn the volume all the way down. I know what the fuck you guys are up to. What I was gonna say is, like, there was this porn star Brandy Love, since a bunch of you apparently don't know. And back in 2020, during the election when everything was going on with that and George Floyd, She got canceled actually for tweeting that MAGA and All Lives Matter, some crazy anti-vax shit. And so as a boycott, people stopped masturbating to it. Which, alright, strange boycott, I guess. But something even crazier happened. People started arguing in the comment sections of her videos on X videos. Or so I've heard. And I gotta say, it's strange to read an opinion on judicial procedure for law enforcement from a guy with the username Big Dick Daddy 77. Mainly because Big Dick Daddy 77 had a point. We shouldn't be treating these officers like they're above the law. We should prosecute them like citizens. It's me! I'm Big Dick Daddy 77. It's my OnlyFans, you can check it out. Then the other big thing that happened is people were snapping because that one comedian, Tony Hinchcliffe, said that Puerto Rico is an island of garbage. Yeah. Which, I'm half black, half Puerto Rican. I spent a lot of my time as a kid in Puerto Rico, and I'm not saying that Puerto Rico's garbage, but when I'm with my family in the mountains, I have to take a bath with a bucket, so... Yeah, no, you know what it's like for your shower to be a bucket with holes drilled in the bottom they collect rainwater in? Taking a bath, like, why do I smell like rust? What the fuck is this? Yeah, it was a metal bucket, by the way. They haven't updated the plastic down there yet. But I do like my Puerto Rican family. They're interesting. Like, we have, like, a lot of great alcoholics who are known for that. Like, my favorite one of all time is my grandfather. My grandfather's the best alcoholic, because he used to do this one party trick. He would do this thing where he would black out and pass out naked at family functions. Y'all know that one? Y'all know what it's like to go your entire life without getting molested and still know what your grandfather's dick looks like? That's like surviving the war just to slip on a banana peel. Could have had so much cooler of a story. So let's get into some weird shit now. As if the rest of this wasn't. Like, I sat there and talked about anal gangbangs in relation to politics. Like, let's get into the weird shit now. So anybody in here ever just scroll through on Facebook Marketplace to see what crazy shit you can find? Yes. I love it. I love doing it. The other day I actually found out that in upstate New York, this is a real thing, they have the property of a middle school on sale for $250,000. So I messaged the guy and I asked him, are the kids sold separately? Guys, listen, it's not sexual. I'm starting a sweatshop because those kids are Asian.
Oh my goodness, bro.
It seems like you fucking love that one, okay? I don't know, things have been interesting recently in terms of I've been getting to travel for comedy a lot. That's been a lot of fun. I did the weirdest gig of my life not long ago. I did Northampton, Massachusetts. Which a couple of you guys know about Northampton? Yes. Okay, so for those of you guys who don't know, Northampton, it's like Boston's transgender kid, you know what I mean? It's the only place I've ever been to that's so gay even the straight guys are bottoms. It was fucking rough when I was up there. Like, it was such a weird crowd. It was an all-white crowd, and at one point, there was this comic on stage who said, damn, there's a lot of white people in here. And this white girl from the back was like, unfortunately. We're like, alright, no friendly fire, bitch, you can't do that. And then she proceeds to snap after. She goes on this tangent just absolutely trashing white men. Which was weird to me. Not because she was white, but more because through her leggings, I could see her dick. Watching a white male-to-female trans woman talk shit about white men, it kind of felt like watching white Michael Jackson go back in time to call black Michael Jackson a nigga. Just extremely confusing. So I started to figure out, I was like, you know what, let me just let her talk because who knows, she might have a really valid point, I don't know what her life is like. So I just let her talk for a while, and it goes from me trying to understand to realizing, oh, you're a closet racist who's trying to cover it up. But I gotta prove my theory. So I very calmly and very subtly look at her, and I'm like, damn. So you just hate niggas for real, huh? And she was like, no, I love niggas. I was like, gotcha! She was like, well played, man, well played. Ladies, you heard this question people were asking women for a while, would you rather be left alone with a man or a bear?
Yes. Yeah.
You guys know that? And ladies, I'm assuming you guys picked the bear, right?
No.
You guys picked the bear? Okay, so for those of you guys who don't know, basically, people were asking women online, would you rather be left alone with a man or a bear? And an overwhelming majority of women said they feel safer with the bear, and they had some very valid reasons. And I didn't understand it at first until somebody asked me the black version of that question. They were like, Trev, would you rather be left alone with a bear or a cop? And I I was like, fuck! What type of bear are we talking? Because every time I see a polar bear growl on the Nature Channel, all I hear is stop resisting. But if we're talking about a 300-pound gay guy, I'm still taking the bear either way. And I don't know, I feel like the reason I picked the bear is because Gary's arms are soft. Nah, I'm just kidding. The reason I picked the bear is because, like, at least if I get killed by a bear, nobody's going to say I should have complied with the bear's request. Nah, and then somebody stepped the question up even further. They were like, yo, would you rather be left alone with a bear or a random white woman? And I was like, give me that fucking bear! Bear's not going to lecture me on what is and isn't racist. Or ruin my NBA career with a false allegation. Kobe? No, I'm just kidding. That's fucked up. That's bad. I used to sell weed when I was in college. It was a very, very strange profession. Like, I had some really weird customers. I remember this one guy, he told me, hey, when you get to my place, just knock on the door, I'll come downstairs, I'll open the door and grab everything. And I was like, alright, guys spend a lot of money, can't complain, cool. So I decided to do what any, like, responsible drug dealer would do. I get high and show up 4 hours late. Yeah, and when I finally get to his place, I knock on the door, and this dude answers the door wearing a thong, and he just goes, Jonathan? I'm not Jonathan. And he was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I thought you were my Grindr date. I was like, yo, is somebody already using my picture to catfish dudes on Grindr? And it turns out the answer's yes. I was actually so grateful this guy let me know what was going on that I let him suck my dick. Hey, socks on, no kissing, so it's not gay. I really hope. I said no Diddy first, it's okay, right? Jesus Christ, 1,000 bottles, that is fucking... Now, I won't really say, the only thing I can say about the Diddy thing is this, I feel like I'm starting to see in weird ways how long Diddy's been known as a creep for. Because I did a black room not long ago and I asked the crowd, I was like, when was the first time you heard some weird shit about Diddy? And this black lady in the back just went, December '94. He was real adamant about that shit. Which confused me because Diddy didn't release his first solo album until '97. You know how much of a creep you gotta be to catch a fucking charge in producer days? Dude, that's back when he was still like doing records for Biggie and shit. That's before he made the movie Bad Boys or anything like that. Wasn't on that track yet. That's a new joke in case you guys can't tell.
Work in progress.
Anybody in here a sports gambler? You guys look too sophisticated for that. You guys don't look like, you look like you have like an antique vape collection or something. Like, you look like a very smart guy. All you guys look like very well educated. I don't fit in here. This is...
Just fine. You're sharp, and you're good.
Oh, dude, please keep on doing this. I'm gonna come back. It's so fucking hard for the comments right now. Tell me you're my dad, please.
He's Jonathan.
Like Jonathan? Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. We're supposed to tell anybody. So I find canceled people really interesting. You know what I mean? Like, just people who got canceled, like the way they got canceled is always interesting. Like, my favorite canceling of all time has to be Kramer. Y'all know what Kramer did?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the couple of you guys who don't know, the guy who played Kramer on Seinfeld, his real name is Michael Richards. And Michael Richards is a comedian who one night was having a really bad set at the Laugh Factory and was getting heckled so hard that his way to shut down the heckler was to call him the N-word like 18 times. Yeah, turns out that wasn't a good plan. It lost everything to the point where, like, you guys know what those desktop dolls are, Funko Pops? You guys ever heard of those? Yeah, so it turns out now you can get every single Seinfeld Funko Pop in store. You can get Jerry, you can get Newman, you can get the Soup Nazi. Can't get Kramer in stores anywhere. It's fucked up, yeah. But I found out why, though.
Those are limited editions.
Yeah, exactly. They're limited editions. I got it online, and it turns out they're limited editions because they're the only ones that talk. Yeah, I got it the first time. It always says mildly racist shit. I had to just see what it said, so I clicked on it for the first button for the first time, and it goes, Jerry, don't all lives matter? I was like, yo! I thought it was a fluke, so I hit the button again, and Kramer called me a nigga. I was like, Kramer, what the fuck? Yeah, I looked back, turns out it wasn't even a Kramer doll, it was a Michael Richards doll. Laugh Factory edition. Alright, back to sports gambling. I don't know, I feel like I started to realize I had a gambling problem after a while. Like, I wasn't betting any type of, like, you know, crazy bets. It was more of just that I would start taking long shot bets and start asking you about trying to bet on other things. Like, when you stop wanting to bet on games and start wanting to bet on the next time John Morant pulls a gun on Instagram Live, there's an issue. And at one point, I started getting angry at FanDuel for sending me push notifications reminding me to bet, which doesn't make sense. Because, like, reminding a degenerate gambler to put in a bet, that's like a therapist telling their schizophrenic patient to trust their inner voice. Well, they were going to do that shit either way, they're just picking out which one. And if you guys are wondering what a degenerate gambler and a schizophrenic have in common, it's that they are both highly likely to shoot up a casino. Oh no, we're going there. Which we all know happened back in 2017, unfortunately. This guy named Stephen Paddock, he went to a casino in Vegas and he had the Kobe retirement game of mass shootings, unfortunately. And by that I mean they both dropped 60. That is statistically correct. I find that really weird though. Humans are the only animals you ever hear about going out, killing a bunch of other people than themselves. You hear that story on the news all the time, but you know what story you've never heard? Local pit bull goes on toddler biting spree. He's later found at home with his leash wrapped around the ceiling fan. According to his owner, his last words were, "Oh!" And yes, that was Michael Vick's dog for a period of time. Oh, a lot of Michael Vick fans in here? Okay. That's good. Oh, God, man, this is fucking fun. You know what? Other worst show I ever did, story time. This is painful to talk about. Fuck. This is how I'll start this. All I'll say is, like, you guys know how there's that picture of Rosa Parks coming off of the bus, and like you see her getting arrested, right? Well, and people know that picture. What they don't know is that is a cropped image. If you look at the uncropped image, there's a guy getting fucked up in the background who had nothing to do with it. And in this story, I'm that guy. So I was at a comedy club one night. We were at the open mic, and there was this girl sitting up front, and like, y'all ever seen someone and known they were a Nicki Minaj fan off the bat? Like, you know that tracksuit she's wearing came with a Drunken Disorderly from '97? Like, it was that type, dog. I remember I was in there and she was talking shit to every comic from number 1 all the way to I'm number 13 on the list that night. And finally, I'm the first one to snap back and I'm like, hey, if you think you're this funny, you can go sign up, it's an open mic. And she didn't like that shit at all. Next comic who gets up after me, he gets in one joke and she just starts hurling drinks at him. And I gotta say, incredible aim. Ends up going 4 for 4 on his forehead. I was like, yo, get this bitch to a carnival game right now. Knock those rings down easy. And so then, after this whole thing happens, the comics do their job, they manage to kick her out, and everything seems cool. Me and the other comic are in the corner. I've known this dude for a long time, so we're on the same wavelength. We're thinking the same thing. We need to get the fuck out of here right now. The thing is, we don't even get the chance. This girl comes back down with her boyfriend. The boyfriend steps up to start trying to fight my friend. My boy grabs him, pushes him back. I step up and start throwing punches with him. I load up, and the moment I load up, I just see her hand come from over that guy's shoulder, pepper spray hits all 3 of us right in the fucking eyes. Yeah, so I end up with pepper spray stuck underneath my contacts, screaming like the Fitz and SpongeBob, just, my eyes! Looking like I saw King Neptune's head. My boy had on glasses, he ends up being fine. I get sent to the hospital with pepper spray stuck under my contacts. Worst part of the whole thing is that only his attack is on camera, none of mine is. That's like if Chris Rock got smacked backstage at the Oscars. That shit could have been so cool, but now he's actually going viral, and he got to go and open for people like David Lucas. Yeah, that footage got him to places, and I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. But you know what? You know what I got? A fucking $1,200 hospital bill, and notice the guy who ran around screaming shirtless. And can I tell you guys something that I'm really not proud of? I made the ambulance workers laugh really hard by saying the meanest thing I've ever said in my life. When I was on the way out, the girl was out front and she was getting arrested along with her friend, and she apparently was doing a bunch of crazy shit like lunging at cops and stuff, and I had to get walked through the front to the ambulance. So I have my shirt off because my whole front of my shit is covered in pepper spray and I don't want to get any more up my face. I've already got it stuck in my eyes, so as I'm walking out like this, I'm like, is she nearby? And somebody says, yeah, and I'm like, I hope you get raped by a gorilla! Silverback! Crushes for the guys in the ambulance. Turns out if you screamed out on the side of the street in West Hartford, doesn't matter what else somebody did, you're the bad guy apparently. So I guess if I have to wrap up this whole thing by saying one sentence, it would be, please don't fucking pepper spray me ever, like, if you didn't like this set, just punch me in the face, I'd much rather that happen. And other than that, you guys have been great, thank you so much, have a great time.